Okay, let's jump in. Let's just check the camera setup. What do I have? I might not use the other one tonight just yet. So just want to turn down the music for me. It's pretty loud. I don't know how it is on stream. It looks pretty loud. Did I mess up the volume here? That's usual. I guess it's just this type of music. Okay, but yeah, so I started rewriting all of this, but I think I'm over engineering it, maybe. I don't know, because I want to make ground vehicle, air vehicle, all these things. And while none of this does anything yet, it's like the foundation, but I don't know, I think I'm over engineering. This is our input capture, but I'm thinking input capture would always be the same. The only thing that'll ever differ with your input capture is which timer, which GPIO ports, and which channels you use. Oops. So yeah, that's the only thing. So I'm thinking, instead of making it like a RC RX input capture, just make it input capture in general. And then and then the RC receiver class, we do need one though, I guess, to interpret a signal to do its type of calculations. So I do need a class for that. So let's not over engineer and add another one. Let's keep that in here. So this one's pretty empty at the moment, but I've got the old one open over here. No, which one was it? That one. Close that, whatever that is. So I should actually be keeping these on my other desktop. There, and that one. Come on. Actually, like so. Okay, so I just have a reference, but now I'm covering chat. Maybe I must, if chat gets something. Let's move that out the way. There we go. Okay, so what do I have here? A timer. What was the UN32 for? I think I was trying to create one of these for every channel. Yeah, initially I wanted to do 2 timers, but shit, but you only got one input capture global event that happens. So instead of calling it on multiple classes, you want to call it on one when that event triggers. Here's my drawing board. What did I use? GIMP? Yeah, let's keep it here. Okay, so the first thing I should actually be building is the output system. I actually think I did save an image. Or no, I saved it in text. Let's do this. Kate. Here. What am I struggling to resize windows like this tonight? Okay, so the first thing we do is power down. Which means, yeah, I should be building the output system first. That's input. I think that's output. So now I know I want 2 modes. I'm going to make an enum for that. How do enums happen again? Call it output type. First one would be regular pulse width moderate. What shall we call this? Because we need an inverted version of that as well. Let's just call it full range square wave. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . What was the other one we needed? A full square wave. Oh, and the inverse of the full square wave. Oops. Ah. What am I doing? Typos. Let me just move. My posture's bad anyway. Okay, so we got a square wave, inverted full square wave. Then we have the RC. Wait, what shall we call this? Because it's going to mimic an RC receiver signal. So RC RX. Because it's also a square wave, we might as well do this. Maybe we'll implement other stuff in the future, but for now we have those three. Okay, so we're going to need that as a type. Let me just see, am I even doing this right? Some things I still don't know how to do from the top of my head in C++. Where did I use enums? Here. Yeah, just enum name and then its values. Okay. So we need output type as a parameter there. And how does the output work? It also works on a timer. So I think we need, which one was it? This one. We need a timer. For this to work though, we need this header file. Okay. So now looking at the old code, okay, but hold on. With the old code, it is the which one? Legacy. This one, I think. That's the output. Move that over there. Okay, so we probably want to keep a local copy of the type. Why do we need the output type? To determine the calculation method. Either way, it's always going to be a square wave. So it's always going to be pulse width modulation, but it's just a square wave that's very different depending on whether you need it for the motors directly or whether you need it for a receiver. Wrong class. Wait. This one. And then timer equals, here we go. Actually, no, I don't need a local copy of timer, only output type. Because timer, unless you want to separate the startup function from the constructor, but I don't think I want to do that. I can just start the pulse width modulation in the constructor. Although again, similar to what I want to do with the input system, I'm thinking I want to be able to specify which GPIO ports and stuff get used. Where's the old start functions here? So it has a timer and a channel as reference. Hmm. But it doesn't really matter what channel. Because see, at the end of the day, what I'm doing, whatever timer it is, I'm not directly referencing it's hard-coded. So how am I going to determine which one is actually triggering what? There's no, this isn't event-driven. This is just triggered by the input system. Because I'm thinking for each channel you want to output, you might want to use a separate timer and separate channels. So using an array of 4 containing its timer and channel and passing that through the constructor instead might be a better idea. But I don't know. Is that over engineering again? I want to do it that way. Fine, let's do it that way. Let's do it that way. But then we only need to use a struct. But either way, a struct needs to be instantiated. But this was the wrong one. It's this one. There's something else. Oh yes, being able to identify whether you're working with pitch, throttle, and whatnot. So no. If we have 4 instances of that created, we name them accordingly. Then we don't need any identifier because the name is an identifier. Okay, so we will be storing the timer handle and the channel, which is a UIN32. Timer and timer channel. Like so. For now, I'm just going to write this thing in a way. Hold on. But see, this is where it gets tricky, whether you want ground vehicle or... oh wait, we've got the output type. I'm thinking the vehicle type must determine how many outputs it must have. So we code it in a way that if it's an aircraft or whatever, it expects at least 4 arrays of these, or 4 items of that. But I don't know if that's going to work. I kind of want to I want to build it good from the get-go, but I don't want to over-engineer now. And I have to change it again anyway, and then it becomes like a 10-year project. Unless I just forget about ground vehicles for now. No, but then what about aircraft and stuff? I need to engineer this for multiple vehicle types. So I'm thinking, but at that point it's already instantiated. Unless we put the output system instead of instantiating, no, but you have to instantiate the channels. I think I need to simplify it more, but also engineer it well, in the sense that inside our initial manager class, where we start our program, we to specify the vehicle and all the input and outputs with their respective timers and channels and GPIO pins and whatever, and then pass that through to a single class, and it handles everything inside, all the input and output. So we can code it in a way that if you pass through an array, but you can't count the array size inside the function, because at that point it's a pointer. You have no information about its size. Unless I write it in such a way that, shit, if you give me the incorrect amount of channels, well, your problem. The program crashes. I'm going to tell you that you did a boo-boo. Program just crashes. Let's do it that way. Fine. Okay, so I'm going to write it in such a way that if it's a UAV, it's going to assume there's at least 4 channels. If it's a ground vehicle, it assumes there's at least 2 channels, whatever. Stuff like that. So there was that other class that was busy with this. So the output channel, I'm thinking, shouldn't be in this class. Should it? No, it should. No, let's move it, because otherwise you're including too many files. So this one here is kind of where I want to chuck everything that gets shared across multiple classes. So let's throw it here. So, but now it doesn't have that header file. No, that one. Copy that. Share.h, this one. There we go. That fixes that. Okay. Hopefully the thunder outside isn't too loud. I can hear it through the headphones. But okay, so we're going to have this thing. And I'm thinking you pass through an array of that in the constructor. Too many things open here now. Hate when that happens. Damn files opening on their own. So annoying. Okay, so instead of passing a timer through, we're passing an array. Bro, I could have sworn I copied. Haven't heard this song in a while. Which one is it now? The shared file, right? In the header. How did I? Oh, I didn't copy, I pasted. That's what I did. I didn't even realize I broke it. There we go. Okay, so we pass through an array of that, the output type, as well as the vehicle type, because we need to know what kind of vehicle we're working with so that we can make assumptions. Is that the right name? Oh, it needs an include again. And then the vehicle type. What did I call that? So I think it's also in the shared file. Might as well keep this thing open. Remote vehicle type. But we are going to have to do and include it. Luckily, it's in the same folder. That one. We have output type, and then we have that. Okay, I'm confused. I didn't include the shared one. How can it understand? Also, why? What? It's because when you move stuff, it renames it in weird ways. Okay, but how can it reference, where was it now? This one. How can it reference that if the shared thing isn't here? And this is just screwing with me. It doesn't actually recognize it and it's going to crash. But anyway, I think we need to keep vehicle type locally stored as well. Vegetable type. Vehicle type, oops. And then I make the same typo twice. Okay, so we don't need the timer anymore. We instead now have an array of those guys. Do we want to store the count? We're going to need... I don't need to know the count. This isn't a dynamic system. So I'm always going to assume if it's a UAV, a quadrotor, there's 4. If it's an octocopter, there's 8. Wait, these are the outputs. Yes. And there might even be more later, depending on what system I build or how it grows. What is this? Bro, which language do you use? What's up on Kick ZR? I use English. My eyesight is bad and the screen looks completely blurry to me. Oh, you know what? I realize now Kick doesn't support 2K. Let me actually test it there. Oh yeah, shit, it doesn't support 2K. It's only got 1080. On 1080 it's readable, but yeah, I can imagine it's a bit small. I should probably scale up my screen size. But yeah, sorry, I don't read Kick messages that much. I'm mostly got Twitch open. But welcome in. I'm not sure if you're still there. Okay, so we pass through an array of pulse width modulation outputs. And based on the vehicle type, we're going to assume we got the correct amount. I mean, my program, I'm sure I'll get it right, but if anybody else ever wants to use it, maybe make a comment. What just happened? What just happened? I did not do that. It did that on its own. Pulse width modulation timer. Instead, we now have this array. Or outputs. What did I call it? Outputs. Refactor. Rename. Here we go. Okay, so now how this is going to work, let's look at the old code here. We have an event that's going to get triggered by the input system whenever it completes an input capture, which is going to update the duty cycle. That's the idea. And since I said to avoid over-engineering, I'm going to stick to a single input capture system. We don't have to build some fancy generic thing. We can just write the output 1 to have a callback function. And then inside this class, I think, wait, no, actually, is it this one? We could write all the input capture functionality in here instead of having a separate class, but again, that could make it clunky. Also, the input system is going to have to manage multiple channels on its own, similar to what we're doing now. So no. We're not going to put this here. We're going to put this. Oops. This one. Wait, what's this called? RC. RPVRC. Call this timer. So that needs to be on there. And then we're also not going to pass a timer through. So the same way that one has pulse width modulation channels. Wait, which one is it now? This one? Is its header file? Am I not seeing it? I must have closed it. Oh no, it wasn't this one. Which one was it then? It was this one, wasn't it? Here. Wait, where did I put that? I put it in shared one. My bad. I forgot I moved it. Okay, so we might as well put the input one here as well. Let's do that. So we're also going to need a timer, a channel. Let's get the old code. We need a timer, a channel. Oh shit, but you know what? No. No, that's fine. Okay, we keep it as it. A timer, a channel, a GPI open, which is... What is that? 2 bytes? uint 16. Ah, wrong one. Yeah, uint 16. Where is it now? This one. GPIO port is what? What is that? 8 bytes. Ugh, 4 bytes. uint32, I think. Can't open that from here. Why? But I'm pretty sure if you look at the size. Oh wait, no. I think if it pluses like that though, it still remains a uint32. What is the GPIO port? Wait, let's look at... Oh no, can't do that. Can try find it this way. uint32. I could actually use OG type because I do have that header included. Let's do that. Doesn't need to be a pointer, no. Okay, what's next? I'm also thinking there's a specific order that we're going to be assuming. Like if it's throttle, we assume it's the third one. So you can't mix up the channels unless we do add an identifier that tells you this is throttle. But no, then we still got to loop through. The thing I'm trying to avoid is looping through arrays, because the moment you do that, you're sacrificing a lot of performance instead of having a direct reference to an object. How do I do this? Unless instead of making it an array, I'll make 4 individual items. No, but again, this is supposed to be multi-vehicle type. In which case, yes, to prevent over-engineering, let's just do an array and assume that the channel order is the same as on a receiver. Timer channel, GPI open, port, what else did I need? Wasn't there 5 variables? Well, I tracked the timing. So these. Okay, so that's all in the shared file, which I wonder if this project will build. I'm very curious. I don't think I've got any broken code, but let's see. I haven't built it in like 2 days because I've been so busy freaking breaking everything. Well, since I wanted to get rid of some of this stuff, right? The input capture, get rid of that. USB input capture, for now, let's get rid of that. And we don't inherit over here anymore. I think that's what broke actually, was that class. I had some constraints on its constructor, which weren't met. What's breaking? What am I missing? What's wrong? Got a semicolons. What is bulked? Because the only thing I can think of is that shared file that contains that class isn't included. But I don't know if that's the... hold on. So we still got output. Instead of looking at other problems, let's just keep trying to build. Scrolling up. I couldn't have broken too many things. This is still a problem though. Why? I'm not doing anything wrong. I got all my syntax correct. Or do I not? Nope. My syntax looks perfect. I'm just out of curiosity going to include this file. rpv share.h. Where was this now? Which folder are we here? Same folder. Oops. Didn't solve the error. Hold on. A remote vehicle, I think this one. I've already built classes that inherited. Or a vehicle type. In the same folder. Why does it do stuff like that? That's so silly. It's in the same bloody folder. This one has the constructor is private. Wait, what? It says it's not been declared. How has it not been declared? I mean, there it is. What do you mean it hasn't been declared? Or do I have to... It can't be that I have to put it in the C file, is it? I very much doubt that would make a difference. But I could be wrong. Unless there's something else wrong. Something else that's causing everything else to break. Like this file might be broken. That's why nothing that references it compiles correctly. That could be. How's it complaining about syntax? I don't get it. I have no idea what's breaking. Definitely something to do with output system class, but I have no idea what. Everything looks fine. Let's check the vehicle type, and the outputs. Let's do something quick. Let's go to source control. Create a new branch, commit some of the files, then delete them. Start from scratch. That's probably the easiest way to manage a backup. Shall we call this? Test branch. Just for now, so we have the bulk of this. Even though most of them are empty and not doing anything at the moment. Why did that file appear? It must be the USB. This is USB. Oops. No. You can't control shift select. Wait, how do I have to manually click them? It's just stage for now. I think these things might not even be important. No, it is. It is. I changed in main as a USB. And renamed the file, so that's correct. No, did I just stage everything? There was stuff I didn't want to stage. You know what? Whatever. It's taking too long. We don't have to push. Call this backup. Now, switch back to dev. Is it on dev now? No, there. And goes back to the old code. Okay. I had the right idea there. It's just I think I started over engineering, and at this point it became so messy that it's almost intimidating to work with my own work. Okay, so what I want to do, I actually want to duplicate the folder the repos in. I have 2 repos. Yes, let's do it that way. Where's the Explorer button? I can't remember how the Git Kraken works. Help. Usually it's an Explore button up here, isn't it? That doesn't work. Oh, I did something wrong. Doesn't allow Explorer to be launched from the terminal, maybe. I'll just do it manually. But I don't remember where I cloned it. That's the thing. Ah, development embedded. There we go. Dev embedded. It might not allow me to do that while this thing is holding onto the files. Oops. Is it finished? That was fast. Unless it happened in the background while it was waiting for me to input something. I don't know, but if that was the case, it's pretty efficient. But anyway, okay, so that's the backup, which I'm also going to open here now. Open. Wait, that is correct. Development, embedded, that one. Okay, so now we can switch this one to that branch. Now I've got 2 copies of this. And then, where, am I being an idiot? I am. I can only have one window of what's the name open. Close it? It's not there. No, how dare I? Did I really close it? Oh yes, because I was afraid it's going to have a file handle. Okay, so just to be safe, let's do a bolt, because this version should be perfect. No faults. What? No way the bolt failed. I think it succeeded. That was just something else. Let's bolt again. There. Okay, so it works. So this is an old version, but not the one I want to keep. So we're going to start by removing all of this. Actually, let's remove those. Now rename these again. C2CPP, because that's all these files are used for. This one I think I renamed to loop because it's more accurate. It's not actually a tick. Also, keep that there for now, but get rid of all of these. Keep the timers in for now. Don't care about that. Okay, now I just got to rename these. Collapse everything and expand main. There. Like so. So the other project also added USB, but I removed it again. I kind of want to have it, but before I start over engineering, start small. It's the way you eat an elephant, bite by bite. You don't try and shove the whole thing in your mouth at once. Folder. Call this RPV shared. Or did I? I can't remember now. Can I have 2 instances of this? No, because workspace. You can't have 2 eclipses because of the workspace unless you have 2 workspaces. So no, it's not going to work. Can't even see the dialogue. Let's just say escape. Would it allow me to have 2 projects with the same name? Come on. Already exist. It doesn't even allow me to change the name. How dare thee? That sucks. But I do have Eclipse, don't I? Pretty sure I have Eclipse. There we go. Open open it in 2 different programs to solve that problem. That was an old attempt. This obviously won't build, but we don't need it to. Didn't I do this last time? Also remember this not working last time, but I could be wrong. Let's see. This can't be everything it just gave me. Because it told me about ST electronics packages and I chose a whole bunch of random shit. So no, this does not work correctly. Obeo Marketplace. Huh. Screw that. Okay, so we're going to keep this window open over there. And this one over here. Source, RPV. RPV base is what I called it. Which is more appropriate. Also thinking renaming the receiver class. Nah, let's keep it's fine as is. Some code I'm definitely going to copy and not do everything, like the shared one. Should allow me to paste, hopefully. There we go. Don't do that. Stop it. Naughty boy. Unless it's just in the other branch, I forgot to change it. Did I even copy correctly now? I don't think I did. I pressed Control C. Let's test it. Paste. Yeah, it did work. Okay. Why did we need remote vehicle? Because of vehicle type. Yes, I think. No. Why do we need remote vehicle? We don't. How did I mess that up? In main. Because it's include is wrong. No? That is indeed correct. Did I mess something up here? Ah, I didn't rename in there. That's why. That's why. Okay, so everything bolts. So I didn't need remote vehicle. I don't know why I had it there. Okay, what else do I want to copy over? Open this input capture. Do we have anything significant worth copying? All back. Output, vehicle. Okay, nothing else significant for now. I don't even know if my headphones will last tonight because I haven't charged it in quite a while. And these are cheap headphones. I wouldn't expect them to have a very good battery life. Okay, so now we are back to creating something with all these output channels and these input channels. I don't know if I want to create like a vehicle class. I think for now, no. Let's not over engineer it. So we just copy over that manager thingamabob. Where is that other project now? Eclipse. I'm actually thinking, rip that out. It'll manage it locally, so we keep this one. Wrong one. Where was it now? This. So the output See, these channels need to be defined outside so that the user can specify the timer and channel and whatnot. Right, so where did I say this one's going to manage the output system? Yes. So that's fine. Then we'll define the channels. No, we'll pass them through as a parameter. Create them here, because this is where we get all our timers and stuff. Create the channels here, pass them through as a parameter through the manager. The manager passes it here. So let's do this. Oh no. I don't think we need to store it locally. Oh man, I thought I double clicked. Probably going to have to do the same with the input channels as well. Copy that name. Come on, why doesn't it work when I double click? Need to include as well. Let's stick to this. I was thinking something else, but no. What am I doing? Clumsy fingers. I forgot. Front needs it as well. Because the input system gets channels, the output system gets channels, it gets the capture callback. The manager is going to need the input channels as well. Input channels. Mr. T there. Output channels. Sound agent. Output. And then inside here, we'll create an instance of the input and output system and pass them their channels. But yeah, I need more coffee. I'm going to take a quick coffee break. Okay, I am back. Miss anything? Oh, bitrate complaints again. What's happening here? Car 1B on Kick. What's up, man? I'm working on a. If you're still there, the project is basically meant to take radio controls, old school radio controls like plane and helicopter radio controls, and make them compatible with quadcopters. And it doesn't do that with the radio, actually. It takes the receiver side signal and mixes it and then outputs it. But at the end of the day, what I want to do is build it so that it's a remote piloting suite. So it has autopilot or all that shit. Or not this has autopilot, but it connects to autopilot like flight controllers and knows how to communicate with those things. But yeah, I just want to check. OBS is complaining, or Twitch is complaining. OBS says it's fine, that there was a large number of drop frames recently. Probably internet issues with my ISP again. Doesn't surprise me. So I'm also thinking about how am I going to pass autopilot through. Because with autopilot, we don't have individual channels we're capturing info from. We have a USB interface. And we read it byte by byte, like in the serial ports. So it'll have to transform the coordinates first and whatever, if we want to make it compatible. How would I do that, though? Either way, the autopilot will be instantiated in here. The same way the other things will. Wait. Yeah, this is a class. But in C++, I'm trying to remember now. There was actually, wait, wrong one. Here. You do it like that, and then you can pass parameters through here. So what we're doing is a multi-rotor. It doesn't have the shared, so I don't think that's going to work. No. What was the other thing? Yeah, it shows you there. Come on. Can't remember now. Oh yeah, it's output always first, because output's more important. So for this, we're going to need an array. What did I call those things? Too lazy to type. I think let's You don't need to do that in the, yeah, let's keep it outside. Actually, brackets, these are going to be input. Can't you just cast? Or is it this one breaking it? I think it's this one. I don't know if it'll even allow this cast, but it's just a test I want to do. What did I get wrong here? Input capture. Oh, that is why. Having so many files is kind of annoying. Doesn't have any more parameters. Why is it white? Or should it be white? I'm not actually sure. But just think for a second. Nothing is done with these parameters, so it shouldn't break. It should build, even though it's not going to do anything. Does not name a type. What do you mean? Did I name it different? There. I'm confused. Unless you need to do it in here. What do you mean? It's RPV. Wait, where is that folder? RPV base shared. RPV shared. And there is manager. Unless there's something else wrong. Screwed up the types. Actually, let's get rid of that for now. See what it does. It bolts. What did I mess up here? So only type there is. Unless it is something to do with those nasty costs that I'm trying there. Maybe it just doesn't like that. But I should be able to just go new whatever. Because these are structs. They don't have a constructor requiring the parameters. Could that be it? Nope. Or PV manager was not declared unless something's broken here. Nope. I could have sworn I used to do that. Oh, let's just convert back to the old way. Wrong type. That. And then. There we go. Wait, there's also... Oh, it's probably just because of the previous build error. Still, wait. Okay, wait, but then my error isn't because I was doing that wrong. Maybe there is something wrong accessing whatever's in here. It's public. It's Name is correct. I don't get it. Why doesn't it like this? And it's not the include, it's just trying to instantiate it. No, this isn't wrapped in C code. Why wouldn't it work? Wait, but it's a struct. I've done this before with structs. Unless, hold on. Didn't I recreate the project which changed my C++ version? I don't think so. I think I should still be on the latest. Even if I am, I don't think that's a problem. There's something else that I think I messed something else up. I don't know what. Video trust that stuff again. Here. No, not here. Well, is it here? Here. It is back to an older version. But I still don't think it's that. I'm probably just messing something else up. Let's do this. What did I? Wrong button. What? Still breaking. How is this possible though? What? I must have screwed up something. No, man. Everything's fine. It can't be that I need to clean it, is it? No. I'm stumped. I'm not using that yet, so let's exclude that. Not even that. How the hell is this possible? Points to unknown location. Hold on, is this? It can't be holding on to references from previous locations before the source control change, is it? I don't know. Hold on. Let's close it. No. I did restart it earlier, if I remember correctly. But that could have been before switching the branch. All this trouble, maybe that was what was wrong with it. Wasn't even a real problem. If it works now, that's good, but it's not working. Still not. Unknown location. Let's see if you open declaration on this. Have I got the wrong path somehow? Wait. RPV / RPV manager.h. Something weird is going on here. Even when you autocomplete, that's the only thing it autocompletes to, is that. And somehow if you do this, oh, that's a manager. Stupid freaking thing. If this fixes it, I'm gonna shit myself. No, I'm kidding. I won't do that. At least not on stream. Okay, but does it open the file? It opens the file this time at least. Why is it not declared though? All the names are correct. It's a CPP file. And that coffee went quick. It was good coffee though. Okay, but let's see. All the names are correct. So why the hell would it not work? Wrong file. This one. Everything's correct. This is frustrating though. It's like this is 100%. This isn't me making a mistake. It can't be me making a mistake. What the fuck is this? Why is it not working? The file is correct. The class name. Let's get rid of this for now. Night bolts. Clean. Too many files open. Okay, we copy that name to be safe, that we got the right name. Whatever, you don't even need an assignment. Then it doesn't work. How? These aren't C functions. Let's see if you open this. It doesn't open the declaration, so something's broken there again by the looks of it. Opens the file. It does open the file, so that works. This is public, it's not private. Let's get rid of private. Maybe that's causing shit somehow. I don't think so, but let's see. What is this shit? Why is it not working? The fuck? I don't get it. New. Fuck's sakes. New. Class. What the hell ever. Okay. Copy that name. Why does that work? But it doesn't work with my class. New class. How does that work? Are you telling me there's something in here that's been eluding me the whole time, that is broken, that is causing it not to work? Could it be the file name? No. Am I even looking in the right way? That's a new one I just made, sorry. It was this one. What could possibly be broken in here that's prevented this one from working? I just recreated this thing from scratch and it works. I don't get it. Shit like this drives me insane. Like, what broke? When I did it from scratch again, it worked. So let's delete this one then. How it's broken, I don't know. It's this. I'm going insane, man. Okay. Can't be something to do with the name, could it? This, no way it's this. It couldn't have been two things with the same name. Wait, they could have. No, not when I recreated this one. Broken. How did I break it? Are you? No way. I just broke it by cleaning up the file. Just by changing something here. There has to be something broken. No way it's that. What the fuck? There's a file in here somewhere. Probably. Let's get rid of this one. The thing I made. Sorry, the header files. No way. There's one in here somewhere. And if it was some dormant file or object, then cleaning would get rid of it. And it's still there, whatever it is. So I can't use that namespace. Or whatever you call that. I have no idea why. There has to be another file using it. Or something using it somewhere. I don't have a second window of this. No, I don't. But at least now I know what's breaking it. Now I don't have to go insane. It's this. How is that? I'm just going to keep it as is. What the hell? What was it called? Just, no, wait. Base. Run autocomplete. Oh, because I'm an idiot. Fingers are spazzing. Type and then those pulse width modulation channels. Output first and then input. and the input is named input capture. How did I screw this up? Okay, but anyway, that's a pointer, that's a pointer. Oops. Oh, didn't change anything really. It actually got rid of that text that I did not want it to. Now I need a local variable to store this in. Oops. Okay. It's annoying how much time I wasted just because the freaking file, the header file's name, it didn't work. Why did I use that? Oh, for the vehicle type. Okay, but now I can try that other experiment again. Wait, let's first do that to make sure it builds. It's not going to build because you need... Yeah, we need this one. I think, the safe one. Because these are structs. In theory, this should compile. It obviously won't work if you run it, but this should compile, I think. Just casting and doing that. Input capture. But there it can't find it again. And it's right there. Okay, well, this one actually looks like it's giving a better result. But no, this isn't how you do it. You should still be able to do this. Oh, I forgot to change the name back. Thank you, compiler, for showing me that I am really stupid sometimes. It doesn't always show you when you're being stupid, though. This happened last time when I tried to do it. It was a struct as well, which it should actually be a like. Oh. I wonder if this will work. But that wasn't the issue to begin with, so... Ah. Why doesn't it like when I do that? Hold on. Hold on. I'm pretty sure... Okay. Oops. This is stuff I still got to figure out from C++. And that works too. So it prefers this one actually. Okay. So I did have that part right. It's just all the other things that went wrong on the way there. Now I've got to create some output channels first. So our pulse width modulation timer is timer 3. That one. What was it called? RPV. What's the first one again? Roll. Also, but I wonder if I wait. No, it's just set its values manually. Dot, which turns into an array, and then we go timer equals 3. And the first one is always channel 1. Very specified again. There. So we got roll, we got pitch. What? You dumbass. No, what did I do? I made a boo-boo. This is going to be channel 2. This is throttle. Yo. One, two, three, 4. But how do we get these? Let's do this. Oops. Is it even selected? No, it's not. Five, no, 4 for now. Yeah. We could just do this. Oops. Actually, I mean to copy this entire thing. I think I might have just pressed, no, never mind. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3. Got the correct channels, and then that's going to be one of the parameters, which is that one. We don't care about an input system yet. And then we also want to create some instances of this. We're not going to store it here though. We pass that through to what? The output system. Store them as an array over here, but I'm not going to do that. Well, it's still going to be a pointer, but I'm going to store them separate. No, it's not going to be raw output. Hold on. It's going to be generic to all vehicles. So if it's, maybe we should just call it channel 1, 2, 3, and 4. For now, we cap the system on 4 channels. The most complex vehicle for now would be a 4 channel. So we just call it channel 1, 2, 3, and 4. Because if I call it throttle, roll, yaw, that stuff, then it's aircraft specific, and then it's not going to make sense for vehicles. For ground vehicles. Come on, this thing is copying is so annoying. Okay, and then when it starts up, oh, it is a pointer, so if this array is not 4 in size, then oopsie, all system breaks. But actually, no. It's always going to have 2 channels. And then if the vehicle type, so here's where we look at vehicle type. Let's think about this. So let's say you tell it it's an aircraft, it's going to assume 4 channels. So pretty much everything except the ground vehicle is going to have 4 channels. A tricopter is only going to have 3. Oh, come on. No. Why does it do it like poop? There. I can't remember the vehicle types. Because it doesn't have the reference, does it? I'm just trying to think if this is really necessary. I mean, I don't want to try assign stuff out of a weird memory space. Well, I guess a smarter coding would be never to reference the wrong memory space. And for the programmer not to fuck up by giving it all the channels it needs. Okay, screw it. We're not doing this. Wasting time. Where is this? We're not doing it this way. I'll just do a simple if statement. The header file. No, I keep closing it. Go sit there with your brother. Rover. So if it's not a rover, pretty much everything else is going to have 4 channels or more. I need to include that header file. No, you've got the chevron, so you're good. And if it's multi-rotor, and this will still work if it's a quad rotor, but what if you have 8 rotors? I guess you're going to have to, instead of using the term multi-rotor, you're going to have to specify the number of rotors. Because if you have a tricopter again, you can only have 3 channels. Then this code again won't work. Fuck it. That's not code for tricopters yet. But apparently quite a lot of people are getting into tricopters now. There has to be a smarter way though. Switch case, assign a number to a value to specify how many channels you have. No. Oops. Yeah, well, you could do that. Specify how many channels you have and then loop through that array for the number. No, but then how do you know which channel to assign it to? Fuck it. I'll solve this problem later. I want to get to some other stuff. Keep that for now. That's fine. I'm trying to think now. If I want to create an even higher level vehicle thing so that you can have 2 vehicle types and mix like a hybrid, because you could have something that flies but also lands and drives around. So you'd have a parent level class where you add individual vehicle classes to, and each vehicle have individual or independent input and output systems. Or could use the same input system but have two different output systems, something like that. But yeah, that's also later stuff. For now, that would be over engineering, but it would be cool. Anyway, okay, so now I need the include. No, wait. Output system is part of this, yes. No. What do we need? Vehicle type and output channels. Output type, which, let's copy that for now. That bloody manager here. I'm an idiot. This one. Where did I specify that? I specified it in the header file. Here. So replicating an RC square wave. What comes in goes out kind of situation. What was I doing now though? I needed to include that file inside the manager, which it's there. Hold on. There, my bad. It is there. Anyway, so for our first experiment, the manager does that. We don't do anything there. We start off over here. So we've got our channels, and then we create a multi-rotor. That's all the output channels. We don't care about input just yet. So the output system, what it needs to do when it starts up is immediately enable pulse width modulation and make sure the duty cycles are 0%. So it outputs nothing. Unless it's in receiver mode. There's a difference here. It needs to behave exactly the way a receiver does. So what the Futaba does is if you switch off the radio, it actually puts the throttle up a bit so that if you're flying a gas aircraft, it actually keeps the engine idling. So when the radio reconnects, you can just continue flying. It doesn't kill the engine. Whereas if you pull the stick all the way down, it should kill the engine. But that's for gas only. It doesn't apply to electric. But it's also adjustable per radio. So I don't know how we should do it. We should do it different for... Oh, shit. Wait. I don't want to keep track of what type of engine we're using either. What's a smart way to do this? It has to be a user setting, i.e. a programmer setting if they compile. I'm thinking, no man. Well, at least for startup, just pull everything low. No square wave output. I don't know what an RC receiver would do, or a RC system, a servo or whatever would do if there's no square wave output. Hopefully it just centers itself and stays there. And the motor turns itself off. I don't know. No, well, if I don't know. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to kill everything. Anyway, okay, so now... Look it. Let's rip this out. Do that, and then... Do I even have the header file? I do. Hello? There. This is in DMA. This is just normal pulse width modulation. This is going to be channel 1 dot timer or arrow timer, and then channel 1 arrow timer channel. Could have probably done quicker if I just did them both. There we go. So for now, we just hard code 4 channels. We don't give a shit about vehicle type. I'll sort that stuff out later. It's going to take a bit more thinking to do that smart. So start the pulse width modulation on all of them. Then, okay, now this is the other tricky part. Is normally to, let's say we were working with timer 3, to set its duty cycle to 0, you would go CC. Is it CC? CCR. You do that, for example. But how do we get that reference? That's a timer type and the timer handle. So let's see. Could be that. Aha. But how do we know CCR1? Shit. We can probably check if it's channel 1, CCR1. If it's channel 2, CCR2. Also don't think that's the right way, especially not once you have more complicated code for multi-vehicle handling. Let me think for a second. How would we know which channel? Unless you... I don't know if CCR1 and CCR2 will always be bound to timer channel 1 and channel 2, for example. Is there a way we can actually check this, like in the IOC or something? Let's do that for now. Open up this IOC. There's a pulse width modulation one. Can't change the channel there. But you could combine 2 channels from here with 2 channels from another. But again, then the pin would be channel 3 and channel 4, and that way you can decide CCR. But that's what I'm looking for, the CCR. So I don't know if there's a way to see which registers they would be bound to. I don't think so. I assume they all work the same, but that could be a bad. Although, yeah, I shouldn't be building the system too dynamic considering I don't have all the hardware to test it on. I should just kind of hard-code it towards my hardware. So let's make the assumption. If it's channel 1, it's CCR1. Wait. Timer channel, not timer. So let's just type it manually. Oops. What was it? Time underscore channel. Oops. Should we rather be safe and make this if as well? That's actually another thing we can check in the IOC. Are there any timers that have more than 4 channels? Because I don't know if you go on to bigger STM32s whether that changes. It might, but you never know. I have to activate them first to see. Or something. How come these aren't active? Only 1 channel? Okay, so these timers only have 1 channel, but what makes these ones so special that they only have 1? This one has 2. This one, 4. 4. I've never seen this. Oh my god, hold on. Does that work with DMA? I don't want to fuck this all up now, but I'm gonna hold up. If this works with DMA, then I've been doing this bad all along. Well, it says PWM input, but I assume that's still input capture. Uh-huh. Oh, but it doesn't have the both edge option now. Fuck's sakes. And it only gives me 2. Oops. What does this do, though? So you can't have them both enabled. The way it was is better. Oops. Now I gotta reconfigure all of this. Did I need to change anything else? I think. I did have a prescaler though that I removed. Before we go away, let's take timer 23 is the prescaler. I don't think I needed any. Oh yeah, the DMA settings. Okay, so this was all DMA based. Circular mode. Wait. Yes, you have to put it in circular mode, otherwise it stops. I think that was it. That was all you needed to do. But yeah, okay, so 4 channels max by the looks of it. Okay, so what do we do? No, I did something wrong here now. Sometimes I think some of these might just be better in an array. Loop through all 4 of them. And then hard code my loops to 4 each time. In this case, it definitely would for what I'm doing here, what I want to do here. Because this is actually correct, but it's so much code just for one that I almost don't want to do this. Bucket, throw it in an array. Should have done it from the start. Ah, headphones battery. Shit. Again, just hard coding. Wait, I named that wrong because it's private, right? So, huh? Oh, here. No, I named the front one wrong. Come on, fingers are so clumsy tonight. It still does not like that. Why? I don't need to do the and symbol because it's still being used like a pointer. Am I wrong? Hold on. Doing that. Let's get rid of this. Hold on. It's not that breaking it. Do I have to do this? Can't be that, can it? No. What is wrong? How did I break this now? How does this break now? All of a sudden. No, wait. Is that... I hate when it collapses everything. That's so annoying. Which one was the output system? I don't know what I did wrong. This didn't change. This didn't change at all. Wait, what exactly is it saying? No matching function for the output system. Did I mess something else up? I changed this one. But not this one. It's still a pointer. And this one shouldn't care. Where's the manager? Pointer, pointer. This has to work. Oh, this isn't a pointer, that's why. My bad. There's our problem. But it built earlier. Did I? That's not our problem. This is one of our weird-ass problems from earlier where something haunts us until we change some freaking name. That would be bad. But I didn't change these. I changed nothing there. Here. I changed nothing. Right? This one. So now it bolts. I don't get how this worked moments ago and now it's broken. Or did it not work? I don't think I ever bolt after doing that. This is normally how you do it, I think. There's two ways of doing it, but this is... There's no need for a cast. And this is just because it's a struct, but I've done this with structs before. I don't think it's that. It was in the shared one. Share.h. No way it's that. Why doesn't it work when I do it that way? How else am I supposed to create an instance at each element? I mean, there is... It doesn't... If Close that for now. Close that. Change that back. So it doesn't like when you do that now. Redeclaration. Oh. I'm an idiot sometimes. Just sometimes. Okay, so that works now, but then instead of going new, why does that change from struct to class? That's the fourth time my headphone said it, so maybe I should put it on charge. What's the time? I think I'll go make one more cup of coffee and then put them on charge quick. Okay. Headphones didn't charge that long, but I did feel it getting warm, so it might help. So yeah, why do structs behave different? The other day, I tried to instantiate a struct the way it's done in C. It didn't like that in C++. So I was like, okay, let me try do new, and new worked, but now it's telling me new doesn't. Or is there some other condition that's preventing it from working? I don't know, man. It's going to take a long time to get a handle on this language, C and C++. But okay, let's try not instantiating. I'm thinking maybe it's not necessary. Actually, uncomment all of this. All of them converted to dots. It bolts. We don't know the size of the channels, but for now we do this again. Let's try this. Except now I think this is going to break again and we need to make it dots maybe. Oops.
Hello,
I haven't heard
motherfucker.
this song in a while. It's up, Captain Denton. How you doing, it? I love this song. I think I remember Charlie's Angels. Yeah, this is where I remember it from. But yeah, what you up to? So I got this drone project in a state where I kind of wanted it, or more or less for the most part. But now I'm rebuilding it again because I want to turn it into multi-vehicle. So fixed wing, multi-rotor, single rotor, i.e. helicopter, as well as ground vehicles. So, but at the same time, when I started doing it over the weekend, I thought to myself, yo, I'm over engineering it. So I went back and like cleaned up a lot of shit, threw away a lot of shit, and I'm trying again. No rest for the wicked. Just got home. Nice, nice. What you trying? Anything nice? Hopefully it's nice. What did I have? I can't even remember what I had. It was nice though. Oh yeah, ham and cheese sandwiches. Now I remember. I had to make them. That's why it was nice, because it's my own blood, sweat, and tears. Okay, so now again we just hardcode to 4. This time I'll do a loop. So it'll go. Oops. Oh, we don't need the links because we always assume 4. And then we check which channel it is. It's a timer channel 1. Some spam like preserved meat in a can, basically unhealthy. It sounds kind of like, I don't know if it's the same as we got something called bully beef. That stuff is kind of horrendous, but also so good at the same time. Sometimes it's weird. Let me show you. I don't know, maybe you guys have something similar, or maybe this is what you have. But this is the stuff. It's like meat in a can, basically, with fat. You can check the fat in there. I love it when you microwave it and the fat just melt. But basically what we do sometimes, we take this and baked beans, like Koo baked beans. Those are the best. And then we cook them together like these and the bully beef. And then you eat that on toast. It's pretty nice. That's a typical, well, I don't know. For us, it's a very typical South African thing growing up. Okay, so this. Oh wait, it's Tim _ channel there. I hate how it does this. So annoying. Okay, so it's channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, and channel 4. Then you have to go up to channel dot timer. Go dot, what was it, instance? I think it was instance, if I remember correctly. Instance dot, yeah, there, CCR1. So if it's channel 1, we set CCR register 0. And similarly here, oops, CCR2 if it's channel 2. I didn't change it. I thought I changed it. I must have pasted it accidentally again. Okay, so now you can actually mix your channels around and that should still work. But yeah, again, this is hard-coded to 4 channels, which is not what I want to do, but I want to get this running up and running a bit quicker. So I'm just hard-coding shit for now. I'll think about it later. My brain is too tired tonight. Can meat you fat? You don't like fat? Okay, well, I guess a lot of people don't. I think the majority of people don't, but I'm one of those fat lovers. Like biltong or dry horse. Gotta have fats on there. Wait, did I just disconnect? I don't know if anything happened now. I prefer more lean meat. Well, on steak, the way we eat our steak, we don't eat it with fat. But biltong, stuff like that, definitely love it with fat. I'm a lover of that, but not too much fat. Or fat must always be hot as well. It mustn't be cold because then it's got a shitty texture. But yeah, I'm so skinny. I definitely disconnected or something. Even the kick thing died. The kick page was in a broken state. Twitch page. Okay, everything's still bold, so that's a good sign. It didn't break something this time. I did do this all correctly. Yes. Okay, so this should start the pulse width modulation and then set all the what's the names to 0. However, I'm just going to give it a small duty cycle for now. Just to test that it's actually outputting when I write the program to the chip. I hate when it collapses everything. Stop doing this. Okay, so our main triggers the startup and loop over there. Startup creates a list of the channels from timer 3 and then creates an instance of RPV manager. Tells it we got a multi-rotor, gives it the output channels. We don't care about input channels just yet. It was the manager. And it creates an instance of output system. Yes, so that's correct. Okay, let's power up the chip. I don't care about the receiver right now, so I'm going to power that up. If I just hit run, hopefully we'll see our square wave. Okay, it is working. Let's test all 4 channels to be safe. Okay. I don't have that camera pointed at the oscilloscope, but I could turn it on. Is that the wrong one? Or did it break again? I think it broke again. Wait, that is definitely the right one, but it broke. I don't know if the mic's going to work while I'm doing this, but I want to fix that quick. Oh, mic still works. Is that the wrong one? Or do I need to replug? Is that it? There we go. But okay, yeah, so now we're reverting the code. Reverting the code. Wait, where did I do that now? Output system to 0. That should, did it disconnect again? Are you serious? It's broken. That shouldn't be happening. It's as if it's a new USB device. It picks it up as a new USB device. Where's that C now? This one? I think we got the wrong one. That's the one. Okay, so you can see the square wave on the oscilloscope there, which is a duty cycle of 200, which should in theory be a 6 of our total. What is a 6? A fifth is 20%, so this would be less than 20%. 16%. But anyway, once I program this one with zeros, the duty cycle, the square wave goes away. There, square wave gone. Okay, so the fundamental thing from the output system is here. So now we just need a way for a system to dictate the output. So what we did with the old code, where is that now? Which one was it? Motor output? Yes. But this is a base function to actually power down the motor. So I'm thinking of building a clever function called get vehicle channels. And when you call it, then it looks at the vehicle type and returns only the channels needed for that vehicle, like only your throttle and steering for a ground vehicle, and only your if it's a tricopter, only 3 channels or whatever. But yeah, again, that's later. For now, I want to look at this. This was the one. So we have this. This is called by our input system, which gives it the duty cycle for each channel. And then it assigns it, and then at the end it calls the update duty, which then writes the value to the motor. So the frequency of this is driven by the input system, not the output system. The output system is already faster. Like right now, that thing's running at 60 kilohertz, which is the input system is about 50 hertz. There's a big difference. So at least it won't overwork the microcontroller. I guess for a start, we could do exactly what we did here and just build it specifically for aircraft. And then once it's up and running, we go and expand on it to swap it around. The primary thing I needed was having my input channels and output channels being part of a separate class, in case you want to swap them around. And that I've kind of done now with the output ones. So but yeah, when the input system calls it, it is going to need a way to tell it that, hey, I'm giving you the value for throttle or the value for steering or whatever. So I do need this input channel parameter, maybe. Or we could have separate functions instead of having update input duty, we could have update throttle, update. But then again, it's channel specific, which is kind of fine, I guess. Because yeah, we made the assumption that these are always going to be in a specific order. Roll, pitch, throttle, yaw. The only thing, the only thing that swaps around could be the timer and the timer's channels. This is actually a pretty cool song from Gorillaz. I haven't heard this in a while either. Another uwu. Oh, this is Techno. I thought it's Captain Anton. I had my thing tabs out. What's up, Techno? How are you doing, man? Did you redeemed highlight? Oh, the uwu highlight. It's going good. Thanks yourself, man. I'm busy coding this thing over. I got it to a point where it actually does what I needed to do as a base project, but now I'm making it far more complicated, and it's even breaking my own brain. All these oohs. Okay, so yeah, I'm thinking of. Wait. Let's actually do that. Let's keep a list of the channels. I've already done something similar actually. Let's go here. Base, shared, this. This is the one. Well, a part of it is the first part. This. So I do have it. Already had it. Forgot about it. And then these are just aliases for roll and pitch. So we'll do this. We'll have a input capture. Let's just call it update input or output duty. Which channel and the value, which was what? Where's the other code? A float. We used float. I don't know if float is very heavy on memory. I don't know if I want to use floats. But in a lot of cases you do, but I'm thinking of something different. So what I learned that I didn't know before is your radio control square waves don't work like your regular square waves where the duty cycle shifts. It kind of looks like that and behaves like that, but it actually works on timing. So the center of your stick would represent 1.5 milliseconds on each channel. Is it one? Yeah, it's 1.5 milliseconds. And then the edge of that same stick would then represent 2 on that specific channel. That's how that works. And then the opposite end would represent 1. So instead of counting the duty cycle as a percentage, I'm thinking of just counting that time and passing the value through, because then I don't need floats, which is good for memory. But then how fine-grained do I want it? What kind of resolution? What's my current input system resolution? Its capability is 3 megahertz, if I remember correctly. That's fast as hell. But it's often milliseconds, microseconds, then nanoseconds. Let's work in microseconds. Let's get a converter here. Cool. Quick. What you up to, Techno? Actually, forgot I was working in the stream today at work. Captain Denton is eating without me again. Millisecond to microseconds. It's 1 to 1,000, right? Yes. Trying to think what's the resolution I can count. What's 3 megahertz? That's 3 million times a second. So I can count. Fuck it. Let's just make it a 16 to be safe. Wait, what is this value? 65535. I don't think we'll exceed that. Fuck it, make it a 32. And we don't, but then it's not duty. We shouldn't be calling it duty if it's not duty. This will technically be ticks. Like so. Just gonna walk the dog. Nice. I walked the dogs this weekend. Our one hates it. I try to get him to like it, but no. And the other two still love it as usual. I don't know why I'm so tired today. Slept like 11:30. Slept till 02. Yeah, that's pretty late. Well, if you don't sleep well at night, that could also make sense. Or if you go to bed late. But I don't know. My sleeping time has slowly but surely been adjusting again, and I think now it used to be 7 a.m. Now it's like 7:30 because I'm going to bed later and later at night. I shouldn't be doing that. It's bad. I'm breaking my habit, my schedule. Hey, what's up, Kiwi? How can a dog hate to walk? Because he comes from the street. Like he's been really abused. I think he's got trauma for everything. So just to get him to sit, to teach him to sit, took like months. Well, I'm exaggerating. No, when I actually committed to it and tried really hard, it probably took like 3 weeks. But still, it took a lot of training because he had so much trauma from living on the street. I don't know what happened. That his previous owners abused him, that other dogs abused him. I think some dogs were involved too because he's got a weird behavior around other dogs, which I think or maybe his owners encouraged other dogs to abuse and dominate him. I don't know. But yeah, he's got a lot of trauma. Poor guy. So yeah, when I take him for a walk, I have to lure him out the gate with a treat, and then when he realizes what's happening, he tries to run back. So I have to eventually carry him out, and then like you can't walk in the road when he sees people or a car. He gets really scared. Then I have to go around the corner where I usually take them. It's like a little secluded field, and then he goes nuts. Then he likes it. But other than that, like everything outside is scary to him. It's funny. He came from there, and now he's gotten used to our fancy life. Okay, so we only want to send through the high ticks, basically. How long it's been on the count. Um, Forgot about the mic. Um, just copying code over. Which one did I want? That one. This is a void. Did I even copy the void? No, I didn't. Does the other one? No, I got that one right. But a lot of this obviously won't work because we don't have these values yet. Unless I add them now with the same names, just so they match. Everything floats. No, this is kind of you. This is bad. We should not be doing this. Let's get rid of this. Oh, we don't have to comment it out because I got it in the other project. Just do that for now. Rip that out, then it would compile. I think. Let's find out. Nope, I broke something. Wait, I throttled twice? Duplicate what? I don't know, throttle. Did I do the wrong throttle? Hold on. I think I messed something up. Where's that shared one? Roll and pitch. Oh, you see, I've got two throttle. That's why I fucked this up. Let's call it GV throttle for ground vehicle. There. That should fix that. There we go. So since steering and what's the name is the same, where is that stuff now? No, but it's gonna handle duplicate case again because that's just an alias. That's a test set theory. Or is that shared file? Ah, close it again. And then it collapses everything again. No, shared. This one. In theory, it's going to give me that same error. Yeah, okay. So I don't need to cater for both scenarios. Since it's an alias. A preprocessor alias or whatever you call that. But yeah, what you up to, Kiwi, if you're still there? How you been doing? Haven't seen you in a while. On stream or anything. Unless I'm just missing your streams. Too busy at work. I've been busy lately. But it's good because it keeps me sane. Okay, so now all we need this side is a way to take the tick period, calculate duty cycles from that, or just output that same tick period if the mode is set to replicate a receiver. But that's all I'm going to do for the output system for now. I'll do the input system next because getting that up and running to the point where it's same as the old one shouldn't be too hard. This one. I never implemented this and it's not complaining. That's interesting. I thought you have to have a declaration and an implementation. Oh no, you don't with C, so maybe that applies to C++. Hmm. 70 hours of discounted gift subs on your channel. Really? What time is it? It's pretty much time to end stream. So yeah, I think I'm going to call it a night. My Twitch kick stream broke. Where's that? Still seems to be going. It was frozen. Weird. But yeah, I'm going to call it a night. If you guys are still there, have a good night. I'll catch you guys again on... What's today? Monday? Oh shit, yeah, Wednesday. Okay. Cool.